Is life supposed to be all happy moments? But before that, there are real problems and mental health issues requiring clinical intervention, and this post is not about that. I would like to believe that we all have been through struggles, problems, traumas, heartbreaks, failures, hardships, pain, grief, bullying, anxiety, and the list goes on. And why just us? The story of entire humanity is about loss, wars, suffering, and that of resilience and grit. You must have experienced that nowadays every other person and celebrity is recommending to see a therapist. Society has found therapy a valuable tool for situations of real psychological disruption. But do you think that, like the man with a hammer, we have begun to see every emotional discomfort as a nail? Every time we have medication, we check what are the side effects. Yes, it's weird that something that is supposed to fix us can also make us sick. Upset stomach for one. Similarly, is it possible that a therapist, psychologist, the one who is supposed to fix our mental health, can cause us more harm? Can a healer harm a patient during the course of healing? When I go to friends and family members to talk about my worries, I already know if they are good listeners, advisors, the situations that they have been through in life. So I'm sure that one wouldn't go with relationship questions to someone who has had a series of failed relationships. But what do we know about our therapists? Are they themselves broken people? Are the therapists going to resolve issues, or they are looking at us as a financial security and will want to keep working on us by finding more stuff, breaking us more in the process? Have you known people who have never shown natural curiosity, caring, empathy, and those kinds of traits, and then have done a 6-month online counseling course and have become therapists? I have known a few. How many of us feel better by sharing our problems, and how many feel that talking about it is making it worse? And it is not like talking whenever we are going through pain to a friend or a family member. It is by allocated time. So even if we have had a great week, we still have to think about everything that's not going well because we have our scheduled appointment with the therapist. Isn't ruminating bad for a healing process? Have you seen any kids taken to a therapist, and for what kinds of issues? Are they taken to see a therapist when they have lied, when they take too long to get ready, when they want to wear the same set of clothes every day, or they failed in a sports game or got bad grades or are worried about the environment? And I'm not kidding. These days, kids are taken to see therapists for innumerable reasons. Then many kids are given tags. You're not just shy. You have social phobia. You have PTSD, ADHD, relocation depression. Kids are not undisciplined. They have oppositional defiant disorder. How do the kids survive knowing that they are not simply learning the ways of the world, but they have something called mental health issues? Is it possible that a diagnosis demoralizes a child or induces learned helplessness? We as adults have a filter, so if the therapist tries to brainwash us, then we might oppose. But do young kids have that kind of discerning skill? Is it possible that the therapist brainwashes the child to a point where the child goes to an extreme of going through gender transformation? Many schools begin with an emotional check-in, and kids get a break or get unlimited time to finish their test and homework if they announce that they are not emotionally feeling too good. Don't we all feel crappy on most days? Is that an excuse for not doing things? Don't we feel better when we exercise and do stuff, live with a purpose, goals, take actions? Why sit all day long watching and brooding over every emotion passing by? Why teach kids that life is a pursuit of constant happiness? Isn't that a sure short step towards feeling unhappy? What are the situations under which we and the kids need to be medicated? Should we take medications and remain zombified, or go through all uncomfortable feelings and build resilience? Do you ever look back at your own life and wonder, what if I had someone to talk to when I was going through such and such phase? For example, in my case, my father worked in a bank and we moved to a different village or a small town every 2 years. And I felt extremely low when we moved because as a kid, my friendships were much stronger and emotional than what I have now. So, would I have dealt with relocation better if I had seen a therapist? And what about the time when we one day moved to a big city? And the way people around me talked, dressed, behaved was completely different than the places I had spent my childhood at. Then what I went through was tremendous amount of inferiority complex. I didn't want to open my mouth to speak because I didn't speak English like the other kids in the community. Would a therapist have helped me cope in this situation? Would things have been easier to deal with then? Or going through it by myself made me not play blame games, build resilience and grit and take action, not depend on a crutch, develop a thick skin and learn English. And accept that emotions and difficulties are a part of life and we have to rise above it. Now it's hard to say what would have helped me better, dealing with it on my own or have a therapist. Do you think there is a sudden rise of the need for therapists because people are not building strong relationships? And by that, I don't mean meeting people for 1 hour and out of that spend 45 minutes posing for pictures and then post those on Instagram with a title, Friends. But investing in building deeper connections where you don't even remember taking pictures or feel the need to post about it. And I can go on talking about this topic. It's a very interesting topic and I'm sure people have different opinions and experiences, and please feel free to share them in the comment section. But I highly recommend the book Bad Therapy by Abigail Shrier. Someone had to speak up about the other side of therapy and Abigail does it very well. But I must warn you that the book is one-sided. She provides one side of examples and data and opinions about therapy, and she strictly talks about bad therapy and bad therapists. Whether you have been through traumas, been to therapists, or taking or not taking your kids to see one, this is a good book to know the other side of the industry and get a perspective on medications and how kids today are getting over pathologized. Happy reading.